Hi, my name is Joseph Losner, and in this video I aim to discuss the preparedness of the state of Oregon to the anticipated megaquake caused by the Cascadia subduction zone, and its effect on at-risk communities and infrastructure around the state. I will start by briefing you with a background of the Cascadia subduction zone. Then, I will look at the overall preparedness of the state and the anticipated outcomes as it relates to the Oregon Department of Transportation and infrastructure around the state. Then, I will look at how certain communities will become isolated and how we can potentially mitigate this terrible outcome. The Cascadia subduction zone is a 600-mile fault line that runs from Northern California up to British Columbia and is about 70 to 100 miles off the Pacific Coast shoreline. Currently, scientists are predicting that there is about a 40% chance that a megathrust earthquake of 9.0 plus magnitude in this fault zone will occur in the next 50 years. The Cascadia subduction zone is a looming threat for many people in the Pacific Northwest. The last earthquake on the fault line was in 1700, which was 8.7 to 9.2 on the Richter scale, on a fault line that is now due for an earthquake of the same size. Oregon has the potential for a 9-point-plus magnitude earthquake caused by the subduction zone, and a resulting tsunami of up to 100 feet in height that will severely impact the coastal areas of Oregon. In 1989, the residents of the state of Oregon responded to this looming threat by creating the Oregon Seismic Safety Policy Advisory Committee, otherwise abbreviated as the OSSPAC. The OSSPAC is tasked with promoting earthquake awareness and preparedness in Oregon. The mission of the OSSPAC is to positively influence decisions and policies regarding pre-disaster mitigation of earthquakes and tsunami hazards, and to increase public understanding of earthquakes and tsunamis. The Policy Advisory Committee found that Oregon would experience shaking very similar to the shaking that northern Japan endured in 2011. They predicted that areas along the Oregon coast would experience severe to violent shaking, while cities along the I-5 corridor would experience strong to very strong shaking. East of the Cascades, shaking would be light to moderate. However, in all areas, the shaking produced by the fault line would last from 2 to 4 minutes. The Policy Advisory Committee established 4 distinct zones. The tsunami zone, indicated in red, is where severe shaking and tsunami flooding would cause near total damage and also threaten the lives of thousands of residents. The coastal zone, indicated in orange, is where severe shaking and damage to transportation systems would severely disrupt and isolate communities, and is where the major challenge after the earthquake would be to keep the population sheltered, fed, and healthy. The valley zone, indicated in yellow, is where widespread moderate damage would severely disrupt daily life and commerce, and where restoring services to businesses and residents would be the main priority. The eastern zone, indicated in green, is where light damage would allow rapid restoration of services and functions, and where communities would become critical hubs for the movement of response recovery, restoration of personnel, and the production of materials for the rest of the state. So how do we help these at-risk communities? Number 1, there needs to be greater accessibility to coastal areas, which includes wider roads that can accommodate a massive influx of traffic from people leaving at-risk areas that will not be compromised by the earthquake or tsunami. Number 2, we also need to abandon the suburban zoning in the tsunami zone, as there is no foolproof mitigation methods for preventing the natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis from happening. Although it sounds bleak, no matter what you do, how many plans you implement, or barriers you build, these disasters will still happen, and people will die if they remain in these at-risk areas.